The Santa Clara County Public Defender's Office. We're here for you. We're here to provide legal representation for clients who cannot otherwise afford it. These are clients charged with committing a criminal offense in Santa Clara County.
We are a government agency, but we represent individual clients. In other words, it's not the government that we represent, it's the individual client whose interests are being forwarded by our lawyers in the courtroom.
Both the prosecutor's office and with...
In addition to presenting adults who are charged with crimes, we also represent minors who have had delinquency petitions filed against them in the juvenile courts of Santa Clara County. The Public Defender's Office does not represent people in family court, dependency court, or traffic court. Our office is comprised of over 200 employees, including well over 100 attorneys, each of whom is committed to providing vigorous and quality legal representation to every one of our clients.
Well, I chose to be a public defender because I think it's about the most important job any lawyer could possibly do, to help people who are in trouble, who need help, and who are not in a position to afford it.
People who can't afford an attorney should get equal representation to wealthy people who can afford to hire their own lawyer.
I found that there were situations where you have to go up against a monumental bureaucracy and not know where to go or what to do, and I thought I could help people find their way through that.
Like most of the public defenders in this office, I applied only at this office and was only interested in becoming a public defender. I didn't apply for other kinds of work or other offices because this is where I wanted to work, and this is the kind of work that I'm committed to.
Referral to the Public Defender's Office is often made by the court after a request from someone accused of a crime. Typically, this request is made at the time of your arraignment, a court date where you are advised of your charges and where the judge asks if you would like to be referred to the Office of the Public Defender. By now, you have been released from jail on bail, on OR, which means released on your own recognizance, or on your written promise to appear. However you were released, you have a continuing obligation to make all of your future court appearances. Your first meeting with our office is called a client intake interview. It is generally with a paralegal. This interview is held in private to preserve its confidentiality. In other words, what is said in this interview is held in strict confidence between you, your attorney, and the defense team. Even family and friends will be asked to remain outside the room where you are interviewed to preserve the attorney-client privilege. It's critical that you are completely open and honest at all times, providing complete and truthful information not only about what happened, the facts about the offense, but also about your background.
We need to know it all in order to get the best possible result. If we don't know it all, then we are at risk of the prosecutor knowing some facts that we don't, and they can use those facts in some manner that's not in our client's best interest.
Being truthful and open is also essential because usually the district attorneys and the police department know more about our client than our client thinks they know. And so it's not helpful for them to hide things or act as if, well, if I don't tell somebody, no one will ever find out. They usually do.
There is nothing worse than being caught by surprise in trial with some fact that just totally blows your whole case, which could have been avoided had the client been truthful with you from the beginning.
During your first interview, a paralegal will advise you of your next court date. And after the meeting, an attorney from the Office of the Public Defender will be assigned.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
In a misdemeanor case, your next court date will be a pretrial conference where you meet your attorney. If you wish to contact your attorney prior to that conference, you can get the name and phone number by calling the Public Defender's Office the day after your intake interview.
Yes, I was there yesterday for an interview, and they told me to call back today, and I could find out who my attorney is.
The first meeting between the client and the attorney is an opportunity for the lawyer to meet the client, discuss the case, discuss issues the client may have about the case, and determine what direction the case is going to take, whether it's going to be a case that's going to settle or whether investigation needs to be done and so forth.
The attorney wants an opportunity to provide the client with the most important and the most basic information that the client at that point is craving to hear. They want to understand what the charges are. They want to understand what those charges are based on. So you have an opportunity to review sometimes the police report. You explain to them the process, what's going to happen at the next court appearance, what will happen in future court appearances, and approximately how long they can anticipate the process to take.
I really want to know the details of the client's side of the story and what the client thinks happened, what the client wants to happen, and what they're looking for in terms of an eventual outcome of the case.
Mr. Sharkey, sir, you're charged in a complaint, a felony complaint.
At the pretrial conference, your attorney will discuss your case with the district attorney to see if a settlement of your case can be agreed upon. Your attorney may also discuss your case with the court to determine sentencing options in the event you decide to settle your case.
We tried to see what the prosecutor is looking for in the case. How might we resolve this case in the best possible manner? At that time, we hope to find out if there are any weaknesses in the case that we can exploit later. We need to see if this case is one that's likely to go to trial. We need to see what the judge might impose by way of sentence if we were to accept any offers in the case. We're hoping to see all of the cards that all the parties have and see what we can do and use that to best advantage.
If you were charged with a felony offense, your next court date may be for entry of plea or for setting of some other type of hearing. Your attorney may suggest that you try to settle your case early in the proceedings to take advantage of options for sentence reduction.
You may be offered the opportunity to go to an early settlement calendar, which would be FAR. And the purpose of going there is to try to settle your case and sometimes to see where the DA is coming from, what kind of case they have, what your options are going to be.
On behalf of Mr. Walker, I'd request a continuance.
Your attorney may request a postponement of your case, which is called a continuance, in order to investigate the facts involved in the charges against you or the law which may apply in your case.
6 weeks, then 6 weeks.
Or your attorney may suggest that your case be set for a preliminary hearing where the police officers or other witnesses may be called to testify. A preliminary hearing is not a trial. Your attorney can explain to you the differences between a preliminary hearing and a trial. After the preliminary hearing, the next step is a further arraignment appearance where the charges against you are read and your case is set for trial.
Represented by the Public Defender's Office, Thompson Sharkey appearing.
Hey, Mr. Walker, you're charged in a complaint.
It's a pretty simple process. You will be there with your attorney. At that time, the court will give you a copy of the information which will list the charges, and you'll plead not guilty. At that point, your case will be set for trial approximately 6 weeks from that date.
Sometimes it can be scary to see what the charges are, but you have to keep in mind that those are only the charges against you and that it's your attorney's job to defend against those charges.
Whether you are charged with a misdemeanor or a felony, you have the right to a trial of your case within certain time limits unless you give up that right. This is called waiving time and is common in criminal cases. This time allows your attorney to more fully investigate and prepare your case. Your attorney will discuss with you whether waiving time is a good idea in your case.
Waiving time gives us the opportunity to explore the case and to find out all the facts that are involved in the case so that we don't go into a trial unprepared.
In some cases, investigation of the facts of your case may provide your attorney with the information needed to prepare an adequate defense. This investigation may begin soon after our office gets involved in your case, or may not occur until some later time. It's very important to your trial that everyone cooperates fully with our investigator.
Good. I'd like to come in.
That investigator is in charge of locating and interviewing witnesses and providing us, the attorneys, with as much information as possible about the case. That is usually advantageous for the client because as your attorney, we are more prepared and we can be more effective if we have as much information or more information than the prosecution.
Once your attorney has gathered relevant information, he or she will discuss with you all your options so you can obtain the best possible outcome in your case.
Well, I think there are three goals that we hope to accomplish. First of all, we want to help people move through what's usually a very traumatic experience for them because people don't understand the court process, so we're explaining that to them. Secondly, we're advancing their legal rights for them. But third, and maybe most importantly, we are giving them a voice in the courtroom. We are giving a voice to people who would otherwise feel voiceless in that circumstance.
Whether you've been charged with a crime or have a child who has been arrested, if you qualify, the Public Defender's Office is here to help. Help ensure that your constitutional and legal rights are protected. Help provide prompt and quality representation. Help to thoroughly investigate your case so that you receive the best possible defense. The Santa Clara County Public Defender's Office. We're here to help.